Okay, so let's talk, with that intro, let's kind of talk about the strategies. I think there are three things you need in order to be successful from a strategic standpoint. I think you need intellectual capital. We'll go through that a little bit more in depth here in a moment. You need personal confidence. If you're not confident, you will terrorize your clients. They'll smell it. I mean, you've probably had a number of meetings where you already recognize that to be true. And we'll talk about how do you gain that confidence. But the most important thing, I think, for this group is you have to make a decision that future success is more important than maintaining the status quo. That's where you all kind of break down, or a lot of you break down. The best advice I've ever had is to increase my intellectual capital. Because I understand the possibilities in working with a client, I've walked into other CPA firms, I've sat down with their clients, and I could come up with, if they were coming up with 2 or 3 ideas for a client, I had 26 of them. It doesn't mean that we would do all those 26 things, but because I understood more options, there was greater income potential for me and that CPA, and there was greater income potential for the client himself. The client got better servicing because we had a better understanding of the marketplace, the options, and the different choices the client could make. So what is intellectual capital? Intellectual capital is your understanding of the choices the client can make, being able to communicate those choices to the client, and helping guide the client. In my world, at our firm, we believe that our clients are smart people. They just may not be as educated in the financial and tax world as we are. So our number one goal is to educate them. We feel if we can educate them on an ongoing basis, we can help them to make better decisions that they are more confident about. We become a lifetime guide. And I know many of you do that in a default manner. I want you to be more proactive about that process. I want you to be putting yourself in the shoes of the client, whichever client you happen to be working on, and say, if I was this client, what would I be doing? Now, sometimes we can have all these great complex ideas, but when the understanding that the client is a relatively simple, straightforward person, we need to throw out some of those ideas and not use them because we'll make the clients uncomfortable. So it's not just about having the perfect product or service, it's about having the perfect match for the client. How to use your intellectual capital. My job is to figure out how I can provide the most exceptional value for the clients. And that's what all of you should be doing. And if you don't understand something, if you don't understand how to do a 1031 exchange, or you don't understand how to do an ESOP program, that's fine. But if that's what the client needs, you need to be reaching out through the money concept systems, through Pershing, through whatever resources you have to get the expert in your office or on the phone, and you be the coach, the quarterback, to get the client where they need to go. You don't have to know everything in this business. One of our faults as a profession is we feel like we need to know everything before we can do anything for a client. That's not true. You just need to be prepared to step into the client's shoes and protect them, to educate them, and to get the best advisors around them. Okay, so let's think this through. Hard work alone will not help you become successful. I know you think if you just stay another couple hours tonight and pass on dinner with the kids, you can get some work done. That's not where your value is long term. Not to you, not to the family, and not to your clients. However, working hard by becoming a serious student of your profession will increase your intellectual capital. You'll understand more, you'll be able to connect more of the dots, you'll see opportunities far more than you will if you don't go down this process. Increasing your intellectual capital allows you to leverage every opportunity you meet. And I submit to you, most of you already have more clients than you need. If you were to take the top 25 clients that you work with and drill down and pour your education, experience, and guidance into those top 25. We talk about referrals. The gentleman this morning talked about referrals. The people, you will have raving fans. You will have absolutely raving fans. They will want to introduce you to their friends. It happens to me all the time. Getting new clients is no longer an issue. My whole focus is just helping those clients that I want to work with. Now let's talk about the confidence as a strategy. I have trained over the last 5 years 4 CPAs with a great deal of intensity to do exactly what I do. They're all top producers now, except for the last one who's 26 years of age. Now it's hard for a 26-year-old in our industry to tell someone to give me $2 million and trust me and I'll make it work, but it's happening. It's happening. But this is the problem he's having, this is the biggest problem he's having at 26 years of age. He doesn't have the confidence. I have, for the last month, probably sat him down 5 to 5 financial planning clients a week. We invite our clients to come in, they give us their data, he'll interview them. There's no one else in that room now with him, he's alone. We want that to happen. And the gentleman is married to a woman, bright, beautiful woman that sells real estate. And every night, I'm sure when he goes to bed, she whispers in her ear, you got to be charging harder, you got to be forcing the sale, you got to be asking for the business. And I keep telling him, that's not what we want you to do. I just want you to talk to the clients, I want you to listen to them. And for the last month, he hasn't closed anything. And he's feeling terrible about the fact he hasn't closed anything. And I said, I don't feel terrible. He feels like he's letting me down. I said, no, no, no. All I want you to do is listen to him, collect the data, and build the relationship. In our world, we don't need to press. We're going to get another bite at the apple next year, and the year after, and the year after that. We want to be their best friends, we want to be their counselors, we want to be their guidance. He's starting to get that now. And as he gets it, he's closing the deals. And we tell him, this is how you practice. We want you to practice your presentations out loud. We want you to strip out all the jargon. He's studying for the CFP. He's a very, very bright man. And I've got to get him to ignore all that. Stop the jargon and go talk to your aunt or your grandmother or an older cousin. If you can't explain it to them, you'll never close our clients. You'll never work with them properly. I want you to strip out all the jargon, and I want you to speak with love in your heart. I don't mean that flowery, but I want you to speak like you care and you want them to hear what you're saying. That's critical. If you can do that, this business is yours. I want you to conduct the interview, but mostly asking leading questions. Just let them talk. Let the clients talk. They'll tell you where their pain is, okay? And ask the assumptive close. I'm going to go through this a little bit more later in the tactics, but I don't do financial planning for clients until after they've transferred their funds to me. I keep running into financial planners and they say, that's impossible. You've got to compete with that plan. I said, no, I don't. I'm not competing on a plan. I'm competing on a relationship level. If you compete on a relationship level, you have already won. You've already got the client's trust. That's the direction you need to go down. Don't think coming up with the best product is the solution for closing the deal. It isn't. Strengthening the relationship between you and the client is the fastest way to increase this side of the business. Okay, let's talk about changing the status quo for a minute. I've had a number of you come to me and say, I'm trying to do this, it's not working, I don't have the time, there's a million things going on in their world, just like in all our worlds. And they say, how do I get to be doing this financial planning? But I said, you've got all the pieces, you'll do this when you're ready to do it. Prior to that, you're too comfortable where you're at. You're absolutely comfortable doing what you're doing. It's familiar. It may be long hours, but you don't care. That's the place you're most comfortable with. Okay?